Robles Garay. Thanks for granting us this interview for domain.info. How are you doing?
Fine, thank you. Thank you for the invitation.
It's our pleasure.
I started in 1995 working for the .mx project in that year in the Monterrey Institute of Technology in Mexico, in Monterrey City. And I was graduated from the as a bachelor systems engineer, and I had to build most of the systems used in late 90s to offer the service for .mx. With the evolution of the .mx, the growth on the internet, I became the general coordinator for that project, and after 5 years I became the director for that project, and now I am the general director. We are trying to implement some projects on infrastructure in order to speed up the process of registration with foreign registrars. And we are trying to standardize most of the procedures that we used to have different from the industry. Like, for example, the holdership scheme. We used to have a holdership based on 2 persons of contact instead of 1 organization or 1 person. And we're moving that into a more standardized way. We plan to finish all those procedural issues before we move to a bigger project like the EPP implementation, or the EPP introduction, or the reopening of the .mx. We finished our implementation for the registry, the EPP registry, but you may note that we as .mx, CCTLE.mx, we are also registrar. So we are now building the registrar EPP interface with our own EPP registry. So we are at this moment ready to start the test phase with external parties. And at this moment we have a couple of foreign registrars already able and willing to test with us the systems that may be introduced by the end of next year. I think that this is a very excellent project for the region, not only because of having a new choice as a domain name for the internet users in the region, but because that represents a way to improve our role that we have been playing the past years in this ICANN fora, to improve it as a providers, not only as a listeners and see what others are doing, but it's a project to improve our participation, to generate better skills in the region, from the technical part, from the political part, from the operational part. And I think that this is a very good opportunity to show the rest of the world that the Latin American people is able to do these things that historically has been done only by developed countries. We are eager to open or reopen the .mx, because you may note that .mx was open at the very early stages of the .mx. We used to have universities, academical institutions on their .mx in the late 80s and early 90s. We decided to close it because we created the .edu.mx for educational purposes, for educational organizations. And at that moment, November 1996, we decided to close the .mx for registrations, for new registrations. Now it comes the time when several other CCTLDs are reopening their own top-level domain, like Malaysia, Sweden, China, Japan, Canada, France, for example. And we are trying to move to that same kind of service. But we've been planning this since 3 years ago. First, building our infrastructure needed to have this done. to standardize the procedures like the holdership scheme, and then the introduction of EPP in .mx. All of that in order to have a very good channel distribution in place before we reopen the .mx, because we wanted to have a widely open for everybody, want to have an identification like .mx. We are one of the pioneers of the EUDRP. We used to have a local dispute resolution policy before the EUDRP. When the EUDRP was adopted by ICANN for the GTLDs, we decided to adopt it for .mx in the year 2000, December 2000. After that, we have had like 60 cases under .mx. We are one of the CCTLDs with more cases under the EUDRP, and we are one of the oldest CCTLDs under the EUDRP. We took the EUDRP in 2003 and we reshaped it. We customized most of the procedures in order to follow and be compliant with our intellectual property law in Mexico. So this way we have now something called local dispute resolution policy, which is basically the EUDRP with customizations for the legal environment in Mexico. I'm very optimistic on this forecast, because we've been planning for many years all these developments, and we are starting to see the results of this strategic plan. And I see the .mx reopened. I see a potential for domain registrations 3 times the number of registrations that we have at this moment. So I think that we will be able to engage not only in better services and better quality, but also in other projects that may help the .mx sustainability, not only from the operational point of view, but also on the financial point of view. So we want to keep working on that, and I'm very optimistic that we will have the results on that line.
Thank you very much. We are very glad to have you here in domain.info. I hope to find you very soon in the next ICANN meeting.
Sure, of course, and thank you for the invitation once again.